Welcome everybody to our Summer 25 release webinar for Provar Automation. This is the 2.16.1 release. We'll be talking through our Salesforce compatibility release for the Summer 25 Salesforce release, as well as some product enhancements and some changes that we are introducing with this release. Before I get into all the content for today, I'll just remind everybody that you can utilize the Q&A function at the bottom of the Zoom panel. If you'd like to ask any questions, we will be having a Q&A at the end of today's session, or you could also utilize the chat. Feel free to use either one, and we'll try to get to all those at the end of our session today. I'll begin with brief introductions. Myself, Michael Daly, I will be monitoring the Q&A and handling the ceremonies of today's release webinar, just kind of moving us through our agenda. I am the Technical Product Marketing Director for Provar. And then we have Ravi, who will be joining. He is the Product PBU Director for Test Automation. We'll be going over our Salesforce 25 release changes. Our agenda for today is mainly just going to be going over our automation updates. So we'll spend a lot of time talking through the Salesforce changes that are becoming in this Summer 25 release, as well as some new features and enhancements for Provar Automation. Then we have a brief update for Provar Manager that we'd like to share with you all in terms of some plugin announcements and changes that we've done for that particular product. And then, as promised, we'll have our Q&A at the end of the session today. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Ravi, who's going to talk us through our Summer 25 changes.
Thanks, Michael. Hello, everyone. First of all, thanks for joining this release webinar. I'll be covering a few key highlights from this Summer 25 R1 release. So starting with Summer 25 Salesforce changes that we have covered as a part of this release. So the very first one is around list view, and it is one of the visible significant change that is coming as a part of Summer 25 from Salesforce, where Salesforce has introduced a new search box for list type. So this is one of the screen reference from Spring 25 from the previous release on the left, where you have list view screen, and when you click on list type search filter or list type filter, you see all the list types available. These could be standard or custom depending on the configuration you have, but there was no search box on the left. So on the right side, you see you have a search box introduced by Salesforce. So it is useful when you have a big list where you have many custom list type configured on the screen and you want to search through that list type. It is a very handy and useful feature coming in Summer 25. Moving on to the next one. So talking about some challenges, yes, definitely it is a UI change coming in the Salesforce, quite visible on the UI. Rest of the functionality remains same, but it is a challenging part for the automation point of view, where definitely the whole UI has been revamped. A new search box is appearing that changes all the DOM structure for the screen. Not just that, Salesforce is not just changing the UI. Behind the scene, it is migrating the list type section to LWC framework. So now the rendering of this list type screen is in LWC. So when anything changes to LWC, it means it changes the DOM structure behind the scene. And if DOM structure changes behind the scene, then it definitely going to impact the coded automation tool like Selenium and other tools who are dependent solely on DOM structure. So this is a significant change that might break any coded automation. If you're using any custom implementation around it, make sure like you are checking the compatibility of this. And it is all across the object in Salesforce, like all list view screen is having this impact. You will see it across sales and console applications. So it is widespread across the Salesforce orgs. So make sure like you test it if you have some custom implementation. But at the end, yes, I mean, if you are using out of the box Provar functionality to search through this filter, it will keep on working. You don't have to make any change to the automation script, because by the functionality, when you are using automation, you don't have to actually search anything in the search box, because automation will automatically select the given value that you have provided in the test script. So yes, your existing script will continue to work fine. There is no changes required in the existing scripts. Moving on to the next one, some metadata discrepancy that we have observed in advanced search screen. So advanced search screen is the screen that Salesforce introduced recently in the previous releases. So advanced search screen is a replacement of lookup that we have seen. So all the lookup screen of all the objects had been replaced by advanced search, and Salesforce is now making some changes around it. There is no visible change around it, but we have observed some metadata discrepancy here. So what is happening with this one? So for example, when you launch advanced search screen, will have some columns. what we are seeing in the metadata, like in the metadata, it is adding one additional column, which is called as name, that is not visible on the UI. So as you see on the screenshot, it has work order number and subject, but in between on the test builder, if you see, it is pulling out a name field from the metadata. This is a discrepancy from the Salesforce, and we have reported it to Salesforce as well. They might fix it in future. But as a part of this release, we have provided the compatibility so that you don't have to rework on the existing scripts. The same scripts of the lookup or advanced search will keep on working in this release. But yeah, in future, if Salesforce fixes that, then also like your same script will keep on working. So there is no changes required from the out of the box functionality that is provided by Salesforce. But if you are using some custom implementation, make sure you are reviewing this change. The impact of this one is majorly on the FSL objects. For example, objects like work order and service appointment. So these kind of objects are impacted. We have not seen it for the standard account and case object, but it is more around FSL objects. Moving on to the next one. This is list view again. We have some DOM and LWC changes on the list view again, but this time it is not on the search filter side. It is on the table side. What we are seeing in the DOM, there are some restructuring happened in the DOM where the hierarchy of the DOM has changed. But more important to that, there are some LWC attributes and properties are now available. It means it is not completely migrated to LWC framework, but there are some components and some attributes are used from LWC in this screen. This impact is only for the columns that are having no value or null value. So if you don't have any value in a column and you're trying to assert, like there is no value in that particular field in the list view, then this will have impact on the coded automation tool because the DOM structure behind the scene has changed and the hierarchy has changed. Again, the widespread impact it has on all objects and all list view screens. So this will have impact on the coded automation and the custom implementation if you have, but if you are using out of the box Provar functionality for the test case, those will remain compatible and will not require any update or change from the user. So this one, it's a little small. So on the left side, this is coming from Spring 25, where we have a DOM structure. I mean, at the high level, this is a normal DOM structure with some hierarchy, TD, span, and span as a child attribute. On the right side, if you go, we still have TD, but there are some LWC properties are introduced. I'm not sure if I'm able to point to that, but there are some LWC properties and attributes are added to existing tags. And also the span tag is not subchild of previous span tag. So there are some hierarchy changes and LWC attributes available in this one that makes it challenging for the coded automation to create the locator. So if you are creating a locator depending on these DOM structure, then definitely those will be impacted. But out of the functionality that is supported by Provar or the test case that you're creating via Provar will keep on working with this change as well. Moving on to the next one, another one is around activity timeline. Again, some DOM structure changes in this area as well, but it is very particular to the title where the framework has not changed. It is still the normal DOM structure that it used to be. But as we know, like Salesforce keeps on changing the DOM structure in every Salesforce release. That's what happened with this activity timeline as well. So what it is doing, it is when you're capturing the title of the activity or the event, then it is definitely pulling up the title, but along with that, it is pulling the status as well. So if you are doing an assertion on the title of the object, for example, it is call, it is send late letter, then it is also showing a status alongside that. So your assertion might fail. So I'll show you in the next screen how how it changes and how it affects the coded automation. But the impact of this is around sales and console application, where it impacts all the activity timelines across the Salesforce orgs. And yes, Provar is compatible. We have handled this as a part of this compatibility release. So your script and assertion will keep on working fine. You don't have to change the expected value or any step in your existing test cases. Going to the next screen just to highlight what the changes was all about. So you see like the DOM structure here is same. I mean, on the left side, it is Spring 25, the previous release. On the right side, it is Summer 25. So in the previous one, it has the TD and the span tag is parallel to the anchor tag on the top. So anchor tag is for the title that you're seeing on the left side for the activity timeline. And in parallel to that, you have a span tag that shows the status of this activity. But if you go to the right side now, then you see you have anchor tag, and the span tag is a child tag of this anchor rather than a parallel tag. So that affects the automation in terms of when you're pulling the title of the anchor tag, then it's going to pull the title of the status alongside. That way, the text that you are getting from the page will be title plus the status. The actual value that you want to assert is the title. That's where the difference comes in. And that's where your coded automation might fail. So you might have to recreate your locator and then create your script again. But for Provar, it is automatically handled. As I said, like no changes required in the Provar script. It will continue to work. So you'll have differentiation between status as well as the title. Moving on to the next one. Again, another metadata change, rather discrepancy on the merge case screen, where the column name you're seeing on the right side, the column name is last modified. It is a little trimmed, but the actual name is last modified date. This used to be the actual information available in the metadata, where the label name of the column was last modified date. In the summer 25, it has changed, and it has now changed to last modified only. There is no date component to that attribute in the metadata. And again, we are presuming it is a Salesforce issue. They might fix it in the future, but as a part of compatibility, we have handled it and providing the compatibility with this summer 25 R1 release. So your existing script will keep on working fine. And if in future Salesforce fixes this, then also your same script will keep on working fine. There will not be any impact of this column change. Moving to the next one, that is around CPQ Summer 25. As we know, Salesforce is not bringing too many changes around CPQ from past couple of releases. There's no functionality added, no changes in the existing functionality. The same is followed in Summer 25 as well. No significant change that we are seeing from the functionality point of view for sure. But yes, there is a new version available, version 256, that is coming as a part of Summer 25. We have did the compatibility test. We have seen certain automation impacting item on CPQ tables. Those are minor changes that we had to cater, and those are handled as a part of this compatibility release. We have made sure like all the existing functionality that was supported as a part of CPQ in Provar is intact and working fine. So if you are using CPQ, this and using this new version, the same script will keep on working without any change. So this Provar release ensures the compatibility with this CPQ 256 version as well. And the previous version were already supported, so those should also be continue to work. Moving to the next one, some cherry pick from the Salesforce Summer 25 release notes. I thought it's good to highlight that because we don't have to make any changes around these, but these are the ones that could impact you as a tester or as an admin or maybe as an automation engineer. So the very first one is around lazy loading of console tabs. This is one of the feature brought by Salesforce. It was flagged off in the past. In this release, it has been marked default on in the org. What it does, like it is more to save resources on the machine, because when you open console tabs, multiple console tabs, each tab consumes some resources and memory on the machine. So to optimize that, what Salesforce has done, Salesforce has provided option of lazy loading for the console tabs. It means if your tabs is inactive and you are not using it, it will not load the content of those tabs. And as soon you click on that tab or activate that tab, then only it will start loading the content on that tab. This is good as a functionality because it saves the resources on the machine, but it is challenging from the automation point of view because if you're clicking on any inactive tab and trying to perform some action, the tab will take time to load. So initially, it was quickly reflecting the tab content because it was already loaded, but now it will not by default loaded, and then you'll have to wait for the content to load. That's why it could impact your automation. We have checked the compatibility of this feature with the latest release, and everything worked fine. There is no change or no issue that we saw in our bulk execution. But if you are using bulk execution on server, make sure like you're keeping an eye on this. And if you have many console scenarios, make sure you're observing this and sharing the feedback with us. And if you are using some custom implementation like manually clicking on tab and handling tabs or switching to frames, then you have to handle these waits on your own. But if you're using out of the box Provar functionality or the support, then yes, it will be automatically handled. So that is first one. Next one is around close case button available on case detail page. This button was not available in the past, but it was an Salesforce idea that was submitted long back. People were creating their custom buttons, custom close case button on the layout and then adding it on the case detail page. But what Salesforce has done as a part of Summer 25, they have provided a standard close case button that you can add to your layout. So it is not by default available on the layout. You have to go in the layout settings and you have to configure this button. Then only it will be available in your layout. For Provar, it is when you add it in the layout, it will by default be available as a part of metadata that Provar uses, and it will be by default supported out of the box. So, I mean, if you choose to add this in your layout, it will keep on working, but make sure you are refreshing your metadata once you add this in your layout. Next one is around ICU locale format. This is again one that we have been talking about in previous webinar as well, and Salesforce has been mentioning it in most of the release notes, where they are gradually migrating the old JDK locale format to ICU locale format. It is happening gradually, and they have mentioned in this release as well. So just wanted to point out, like if you're still on JDK, want to migrate to ICU, make sure like you are checking it on Sandbox, because Provar is already compatible with this. We had provided support of ICU locale format last year itself. So make sure you test it before it goes to your production. The next one is around SLDS2, the new Salesforce UI. It is now available as beta, and it is available in the Salesforce org as well. It's not by default on, since it is still in beta, but it gives you an opportunity where you can go in the Salesforce setup, enable SLDS2 and check the functionality of your org. Provar is fully compatible with this SLDS2 changes, and everything works fine. So if you are enabling it, just run the Provar script. It will tell you if it has any functional impact on your org on your application. So it's a good practice to check it before it goes GA in future. And the last one in this list is around DOM structure changes. So this is exact line that is mentioned in the release notes as well. They are Salesforce has changed certain Lightning-based components, LWC-based components, where it has changed certain property. Changing Lightning-based component means it has changed the attribute of these components, and when the attributes are changed, the rendering and the DOM structure will also be changed. It will have different property than the usual one. So if you are using some custom implementation, then yes, make sure like you are using the right properties and the change property rather than the older ones. And if you're using out-of-the-box functionality provided by Salesforce to map your LWC component, those are automatically taken care of, and you don't have to rework on any of your script. And as a practice, I mean, these are the ones that I could pull out from the release notes, but visit Summer 25 release notes based on the section you are more interested in. There are a lot many new features are available as a part of Summer 25 release. All right, so I think that was it from the Salesforce Summer 25 changes that we wanted to cover as a part of this webinar. Now, moving to the new section that is covering some new features and enhancements that are coming as a part of this release. Moving to the first one, post lead conversion screen. So prior to this one, we had supported lead convert screen. It was fully out of the box supported. This was the next screen. Once you convert your lead, this is the next screen where it converts your lead to account, contact, and optionally opportunity as well. And this was something pending from our end. And as a part of this release, we have provided the out-of-box support for this screen. So as a part of this support, you will be able to map all these cards that you are seeing for account, contact, and opportunities. You will be able to assert all the titles in this one just to match. It is actually referred from the lead. You'll be able to assert the attribute that are shown on the screen as well alongside it, and all the footer buttons. So these are now supported out of the box by Provar through the metadata that completes the lead conversion flow for our users, and it will be available as a part of this Summer 25 R1 release. Moving to the next one, some next is more of enhancement. This is for extract and assert layout. So as we know, there is a limitation from Excel sheet where it cannot take more than 31 character as a tab name of the sheet. And that's where we were struggling in terms of what we were doing as a resolution to that. We were trimming the record type name to 31 character that was acceptable by Excel sheet, and then adding that in the tab name to extract the layout from the Salesforce. And the same was used for the assert layout as well. One challenge that we saw with this one is when we were trimming it to 31 character and you had another record type available in the org that is matching with this trimmed name, then what Provar was doing, it was overriding the same tab and adding the new layout information in the same tab. With that, you were always losing to assert the first record type that was trimmed earlier, and that was always missed. So as a resolution of this, in this release, what we have done, we are adding a unique index number at the end of record type name when we are trimming it, just to differentiate and make it unique so that when a new record type comes with the same name, it has a different index value and a different attribute. So that way you will be able to assert all the layouts, I mean, all the record type layouts with different, I mean, with a similar kind of names. And the same logic will be followed when you are doing the assertion. So we are doing the same logic, appending one unique index while asserting the tab name and the layout information. As mentioned, this will impact only to the scenario where you have record type more than 31 characters, right? If you have less than that, you don't have to worry about it. If you have more than 31 character, then this was the piece that you were missing in the past, and it will be fixed as a part of this Summer 25 R1 release. But if you are using, if you are having any record type more than 31 character, then make sure you are extracting a new layout sheet and keeping it in your test data folder, because if you're using the older one, that might fail with the latest release. So always make sure you are getting a latest copy of the extracted layout with this logic so that the assertion keeps on working for you. On the right side, you're seeing, I mean, we are also, I mean, printing a warning in the log just to make sure like we are informing our user, like we are trimming this name and then adding 31 character with index name in the sheet. We have an example of the sheet at the bottom. So you see like we had a record type name with a more than 31 characters. It is appending some index value at the end of the record type. This is how it's going to look. Moving to the next one. So again, this is again for extract and assert layout, and this is for the special character. And the tricky part with this one was like when you had a special character in your record type, the extract and assert layout was failing. It means you were not able to assert the layout for the record type that was having a special character. It was always failing, and that's where we now has made some update to the extract and assert layout regarding the special characters. So what we are doing now, and again, this is the limitation from Excel sheet, because Excel sheet does not accept the special character as a tab name. That's where the limitation is. So when we were going and writing it in the Excel, that's where Excel sheet was throwing that error. So to handle that, what we have done now as a part of this release, we are replacing each special character with URL encoded characters that is acceptable by Excel sheet. And the same is written in the Excel sheet, and the same logic is followed when we are asserting the layout. So it means every special character will be replaced with URL encoded characters. And when you're asserting, the same logic will be applied to the assert layout logic, and then the tab name will be exactly matching to the URL encoded character name. So there is an example on the right side. For the testing purpose, we created this record type with a special character. And in the sheet, you see like these special characters are replaced by these URL encoded characters. So now it will not fail. It will continue to work. You'll be able to assert the layout for the special character record types as well as a part of this release. Moving on to the next one, Excel write. This is one of the gap that had been there for a while. So this is around Excel write, where if you were writing in the Excel and you had a header, what Provar was doing, it was skipping row number 2 or the row just next to the header and start writing from row 3 without any logic. I mean, could not understand what was the logic, but it was always skipping the row number 2 while writing anything in the Excel file. So we have fixed this. Now the behavior is more accurate. Now it will not skip any row while writing into the Excel. So the second screenshot that you're seeing on the screen is the write behavior, and that is what will be followed with the Summer 25 hour release onwards. So the behavior is corrected. Just make sure like if you are using Excel write previously, this will be the behavior, this will be the new behavior, and it will not have any empty row. So if you are using some assertion and reading it from row number 3, make sure you are fixing it as a part of this next release to make sure your assertion and Excel write is not failing. All right, moving to the next one, some other key highlights from the release that we wanted to point out. Correct row count return for single Excel record. So what was happening when you had a single row in the Excel sheet, and you were trying to get the count of the rows from the Excel, it was returning a wrong number. It was actually calculating all the column as row and then giving you a wrong number. So for example, if you had 4 columns and 1 row in the Excel sheet, the count was returning 4, which was incorrect. Now we have fixed that behavior as a part of this release. So if you have a single row with any number of column, it will count it as 1. And for the single record, for multiple records, for multiple rows, it was always working fine. It will keep on working fine. The behavior was different only for single record, single row scenario. That has also been fixed as a part of this release. The next one is around some intermittent execution failure that we were seeing with Selenium Grid 3, where some Chrome driver exceptions were occurring intermittently on different scenarios on the server execution only. So we have fixed that behavior. We have optimized that execution flow where intermittent failure has been eliminated from the Grid 3 execution as a part of this release. And the next one is around security improvement and enhancement. So as a part of continuous improvement, we make sure like we are improving the security, upgrading all the jars, and following the security guidelines. So we have done the same as a part of this release, and will keep on happening in the future releases as well. So I've covered a few of the key updates as a part of this webinar. We have a few more. If you want to learn more about any of these and want to see more updates, yes, visit Provar release notes for more information. And if you want to dive deeper into any of the topic, feel free to ask in the Q&A and later on like touch base with your customer success representative to get more information on these. Okay, that was from automation. So quick update from Provar Manager now. So moving to the next slide. So there are some updates coming as a part of Provar Manager, and these updates are majorly around plugins that we have. So we have some updates into the plugin and a new plugin also published as a part of this release. So talking about Provar Manager DevOps Center plugin. So we have a new update available for this plugin, available on the marketplace as well, App Exchange as well, where DevOps Center plugin has introduced a new plugin, and just to make sure like it is compatible with that, we have also released a new plugin for DevOps Center, which is available on App Exchange. The second one is around DevOps testing plugin. So DevOps testing has been marked GA recently in the last month, April. DevOps testing is another plugin for DevOps Center, and it is more for the testing, for DevOps testing side. So we have also released our Provar Manager DevOps testing plugin. It is a new plugin that we have published. It is available in the Provar Manager marketplace right now. It is under security review and will be available on App Exchange soon. But if you want to use it, because DevOps testing is already GA, it is available on this Provar Manager org. And if you go to marketplace, you'll have the link for this DevOps testing plugin as well. And other than that, there are some compatibility fixes around Flowsum plugins and ADO plugins as well. So we have released a new version of these plugins as well. So if you are using any of these plugins, make sure you are picking up the latest copy from the App Exchange or from the Provar Manager marketplace. And yes, I mean, if you want to know more about this, we have more information mentioned in the release notes, what exactly has been fixed, what exactly has been covered as a part of these plugin updates.
Thank you so much, Ravi, for all those updates and changes. And on the DevOps Center piece, I just wanted to note that that is new, and it's the DevOps Center has already been launched, but DevOps testing is a new application that you can install either directly from the App Exchange or from within Salesforce, I believe. And that allows you to directly integrate with Provar Manager and our execution platform. So you can get a full circle DevOps integration utilizing DevOps Center and Provar now. So beforehand, I think we were just using flows and other custom integrations, but now it's built into the platform with custom objects and views. So do take a look at that if you are utilizing DevOps Center. A lot of good stuff there. Okay, so really briefly before we get into the Q&A, I just want to cover some upcoming events where you can find us at. So first and foremost, in a couple weeks, we will be at TDX in London. There will also be the World Tour events that are coming up throughout June and later in June that we'll be attending. But the first one here is going to be at the Excel Center in June 11th through 12th. You can find us there at our booth. We'll have a couple people on the ground. If you have any questions or want to catch a new demo of our new interface or anything like that, or ask questions about what's coming, that's the best place to do it. So you can catch us there at Agentforce World Tour London in a couple of weeks. Aside from that, I'll go ahead and jump over into our Q&A and answer any questions that we may have. I haven't seen any questions come in, but I will just go ahead and preface what you've seen here today is, of course, for Provar Automation V2. So this is 2.16.1. If anyone is interested or has questions about V3, it wasn't an oversight. We're aware of that. And V3 is going to be coming soon. We're working with the sales team and other internal resources for GA readiness. So that'll be happening in the near future. But if you want to find out more information about V3, our new interface and experience, you could definitely contact your customer service representative to find out more information. If you want to get early access to that, you can reach out to them and they can help you walk through that process. So I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see anything in the Q&A. So with that being said, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining.